Hello and welcome to the show. I am here today on GTA 5 playing around with some more mods. I've got some new cars that I want to drive around and, well, as you can judge by our setting here, this is not the Los Santos that we are used to. No, this is the Monaco Grand Prix circuit. In fact, actually, can we? I have no idea if where the collisions and whatnot is for a lot of the stuff on the map. Can we might not be able to get in between bits of the track. There might be invisible walls. Nope. We can get down this bit. It's fine.
Oh, fuck.
Michael, I might have got some trouble for you. Hold on. Send assistance. We need to just go up here a bit. Yeah, there's something, as you can imagine, there's lots of catch fences around the place, so let's perhaps not go and get ourselves wedged in places where we can't get out again. It's really quite cool. It is really, really quite cool having Monaco. I believe this, well, I say I believe, judging from the garages, is from a set of Corsa at this circuit. Our car is a Stratum, but not a normal one. This is the Supercar Stratum. It's essentially a wide-bodied version of the car with a little bit more power. Bit of a meteor-sounding engine. Probably shouldn't be doing 70 miles an hour in the pit lane, but there we go. I'm a big fan, of course, of high-powered estate cars. I'm a very big fan of high-powered, fast estate cars, so naturally the Stratum is a car that I like, but this one here just makes it that little bit better. I mean, the normal Stratum is a very good budget car, as we found out. It won many years ago, probably by now. It won our kind of budget car GTA 5 challenge for all sorts of kind of like an overall challenge, also different areas. You know, decent power, decent speed, all-wheel drive, good grip and whatnot. This is kind of just a continuation of that, only made to be a more of a sports car. You could imagine it well being a version of the car. Like I love the law-friendly cars that there are mods for, whether they be fancy versions of existing cars, which is what we're going to be playing around with today. I mean, we've driven the GTA 5 sort of 300 ZX, and there's a Mazda RX-7 around the place as well. There's stacks of really, really well-made, law-friendly GTA cars, because that, you know, you could imagine being part of the next update for the game. So this is the Monaco circuit. So we go around. Well, there's steps up there. Hold on. Probably shouldn't abandon the car. I mean, I've got to go find out where they go. Please don't have vanished by the time I come back, because, you know, don't want vehicles despawning. What's over there? Don't know. We have got some steps. Do they actually lead anywhere, or do they just... It's a little bit of a struggle for Michael to climb up here. Oh, okay, no, they don't lead anywhere. I had to go and explore, though. You know, got to go and have a look. There's plenty of boats hanging around outside over there. It would be remiss not to go and explore the tunnels at least a little bit. This time we can actually get back to our car, I hope. There we go. Yeah, I mean, ultimately this is not entirely what GTA 5 was initially intended for, so to speak. If you start poking around too much with the, well, you know, the bits of the maps, you're probably going to find little oddities, shall we say. Pretty good in terms of scenery around here, of course. I've driven a fair few, you know, when we were looking for good driving roads on GTA 5. I went wandering around a fair few of the different maps, and while great fun roads, sometimes they can be a little bit on the sparse side in terms of decoration. Here, there is no such issue. Well, yes, the terrain. Oh, that's solid apparently, but don't hit that. Yes, the actual like grass terrain on the mountains and whatnot around the place up close doesn't look particularly great. However, it's not really what it's for. It looks the part when it's in the distance, and let's face it, chances are you're here to drive around this circuit. Met with a lap with one crash with the Stratum. So yeah, the bollard is not something you want to hit. I mean, that lasts all of what, like a lap? If like the first lap in that bollard, it will probably be gone. I mean, there are plenty of race circuits where they have the bollards and they can try and replace them as much as they like, and they never. Touring cars at Not Kill, there's through like the second corner down there, they clatters through just about everything. Yeah. What would normally be a destructible bollard is not a destructible bollard. Is there a bump? There isn't a bump down there. I mean, we're talking very, very minute details around that sort of stuff. Oh, low driven the hairpin a little bit. We can get away. Actually, this might be a touch, sort of scale-wise, might be a touch wide in that the Stratum. I mean, this isn't a Formula 1 car. Okay, I guess a road car will have more steering lock than a Formula 1 car, but this shouldn't be able to take 40 miles an hour around the hairpin. I think the hairpin's the only sort of place on any track where the Formula 1 cars are actually going at road legal speeds, or what would be the speed limit on that road. I think they do about 30 miles an hour around the hairpin. But, you know, it's Monaco in GTA 5, and it's actually Monaco works very well as a circuit in GTA 5. Of course, the cars have got a lot of grip. They're all very arcadey to drive around, and this is a pretty good grippy vehicle, especially when you're driving it in sort of a stock guise. There's not too much power. It's all-wheel drive, so it will get around here without too much in the way of trouble. But because Monaco is so technical, it actually throws up a pretty good challenge for the cars. You are still having to worry about braking, you are still having to worry about bits and pieces. I'm kind of curious as to whether we can go in here. You know what? Let's just go and explore some more. Are these all bits that we can wander around? Ah, we can't we can climb over the bridge. It's not a bad viewpoint though. You know, it's not a bad viewpoint at all. Up here, that bridge looks like that might be go throughable. Oh, climb our way down over here, and then we'll grab our next car. Our next car, well, we are going to tinker around a little bit with. I'm going to give it some more power. I mean, the Stratum makes sense to have that level of power. It makes sense to have that sort of level of speed in the car, if you like. I mean, it was getting to 120 around places around. Yeah, being fairly comparable sports car. One thing I'm not so sure on. It does have. I mean, you'll notice with the suspension. Let's just go and fix the car. In fact, it's got very, very mucky in 2 laps of Monaco. It's not so good. Right, oopsie. There we go. I'm not quite on the right place on the keyboard. Well done, me. Let's fix the car. Let's give it a clean as well while we're here. It does have the air suspension. I'm not sure about this in GTA 5. It's fine if you can. I'd like to be able to have a button to control it, but as it is, as you slow down, that's when it does. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a massive fan, particularly, of it going down. There's one of the pickup trucks that has it as well, and it's notorious, or it was, I don't know if it's fixed, it might well be fixed, notorious for doing funky and unhelpful things at times where the suspension wouldn't be in the right position, or it would it would go down as you went towards a curb and then break stuff. So, yeah, not so sure about that. Otherwise, the car's awesome. It looks great, drives well. I mean, it's everything you'd want, really, from a sportier version of the Stratum. Only downside with it, there isn't really much in terms of customization. I don't actually think there is anything in terms of customization on this outside of performance. Oh, we can have a sunroof. Actually, probably do with having a sunroof of some description going on in there. I also love, I didn't put a custom plate on it, just when I spawned it in, it happened to spawn it in with WOW as the plate. So there we go. So, here is our second vehicle of the day. It is a fugitive, but not any old fugitive. This is essentially the GTA 5 version of a V8 supercar. A full-on V8 supercar version of the fugitive. It really, really looks the part. It absolutely looks the part. We can go inside, into here. Everything is stripped down. I like the little details. I mean, this car's official name is a V8 Super Circuit as opposed to a V8 Supercar. The dials and everything work. I think that's nicked from the Flash GT. I think that has all sort of the digital dash. It's a fantastic, fantastic looking car. Now, like the Stratum, it doesn't have a huge amount in terms of modifications. Let's face it, the car is a full-on race car to begin with, so you wouldn't expect much. However, there are a bunch of liveries for the car. Some liveries, you know, are just kind of GTA 5 style liveries. You know, you can very much imagine GTA 5 style liveries. Some of them are based on actual V8 supercar, based on, you know, current V8 supercar liveries. Still with, you know, that GTA 5 touch. Naturally, I mean, I I like the Vodafone style one. Quite like that one. There is we've got Tribute Racing, the old Toll Holden one. We've got the Red Bull, not quite Red Bull, but there we go. I love the liveries. I do love the liveries for the car. It's just perfect looking vehicle. It's a perfect looking vehicle. Of course, me as a massive V8 Supercar fan, having one of these, a kind of fictional version that fits in with GTA 5 is really cool. Glad to see some love for the car, or for the series, shall we say, in a game like this. I mean, I love that you could see the fuel cell essentially at the back in there. Very detailed model. Now we're going to go for a little bit of a run with the car as it comes. It's pretty fast accelerating, but it does suffer from the traditional GTA 5 sports car problem, shall we say, in that cars get up to, well, the cars get up to 80, 90 miles an hour really quickly, and then trying to go past that is quite difficult unless you give them an insane amount of power. And now some mods, depends on how the handling file has been set up for the car. Some mods are given considerable boosts in power. This doesn't feel, I say, massively quick. It's certainly not slow around here. We're getting up to 120 miles an hour. I guess we'll have a throw it down the back straight kind of area and see what the car is capable of. Grip wise, it is immense in this. You could throw it into the corner so much even that you accidentally end up clipping the inside wall. You can see we wiggle. It certainly changes direction. That has hampered my speed a little bit down here. We're getting a little bit of gravity assistance. We'll get it up to 120. It kind of does struggle. It'll get up to 80 very fast, and then past 100 kind of hits that wall a little bit. So thanks to the power of, well, the trainer, to the power of mods, we're going to give the V8 Supercar considerably more power. To be fair, we're probably going to end up giving it more power, more speed than it would actually have around here, because, well, let's face it, a V8 Supercar is quick and all, but not exactly going to be touching a Formula 1 in terms of speed, and around a very technical circuit like this, you would struggle to quite use all of the power. But we are going to give this a considerably larger amount of power. Let's go for 50 times. That should probably be enough to have it vaguely, I say vaguely, so it will give it a closer actual top speed, but it's the acceleration that it gets a little bit mad with. Now this should be a suitable challenge for the car. We're going to have a lot of power jumping on out of the corners. There did seem to be a lot of grip. Yeah, we're doing 174 miles an hour up the hill there. That is probably Formula 1 cars levels of straight line speed. Well, why not? It's got the grip to go with it. It is working pretty nicely around here. And this is where, perhaps the circuit a little bit tighter would be a touch better. I think it's the GTA 5, with the amount of grip you get in GTA 5, of course, a racetrack, a full-on, normal racetrack always feels a little bit weird. It always feels a little bit off. Because of the level. I mean, we've got silly levels of acceleration going on here, but you can brake insanely late in the cars because the grip. Again, this is massively quicker than it should be in turn for the brakes as well. One of the things you can mess up when you give a car a lot of power is the brakes don't increase with that, so it's then struggling to slow down because you're going so much faster. I mean, this is diving on the brakes incredibly late, and it still pulls up in time. It's a very good car to drive from standard. You don't need to give it this much power. In fact, even this much power isn't really ruining the car. It's still got traction for days getting out of these corners. I'm not having to be tentative with the throttle. I'm not having to be careful with the car in any way, shape or form. And I'm still, So I'm going on the braking point where I would with a Formula 1 car, and we're still getting stopped in time for that. We're still getting stopped. That was us being early on the brakes as well for that corner. Christ, the speed through there is immense. It's certainly interesting driving a car. I mean, we could probably go even faster. Shall we go even faster with the power multiplier? This is going to end. It's going to end in a big crash, of course. How much power can we get out of this before it really starts to struggle? 150 times, there should be more than enough to start seeing the car slithering around. And indeed, there's a little bit of sliding. It's still remarkably grippy. I mean, this is quite a good test for a vehicle. Crank the power up and see if it's still got the grip to deal with the fact that we're now doing 200 miles an hour. I mean, the brakes are now... You're going to have to change your braking zones a little bit. Oh, the grip in this is incredible. I mean, I've driven quite a few cars with silly levels of power in this game. It is good fun, making stuff super fast. But the grip that this can take, the brakes are now... I say the brakes are now struggling. It's the speed. I'm now having to brake a lot earlier, perhaps at more expected places. How fast can we get on the streets of Monaco here with our V8 supercar? A lot of miles an hour. It always beat a McLaren F1 in terms of top speed down there. Oh, now it is, starting to slide about a little bit. We're going to crack 200 miles an hour up the hill. It's now starting to get a little bumpy. You're starting to notice the bumps when you're doing 200 around Monaco. It's certainly something that is a different experience in terms of GTA 5. I mean, I've played a lot of this game, and it's always nice having a new place to explore, and Monaco street circuit is good fun. Might be a little... not really the fault of the circuit. I think the cars, on the most part, might be a bit too grippy. It might be a bit too almost easy to drive around here to fully appreciate the immense circuit, but still a good fun thing to have. And this car, I mean, it's excellent. Incredibly detailed vehicle. When you don't go mental with the power gains, it is very, very good fun to drive. I highly recommend the mod, and even with the immense power gains, even with 160 miles an hour up towards these corners, there's still grip to spare in the car. I mean, it's basically like fast-forwarded footage going on at the moment. So yeah, some very, very cool mods. I will, of course, link all of them in the description of this video, so you can give them a try yourself. I do highly recommend them. Because yeah, they are all excellent fun. We're going to do some donuts in the pit lane with, oh well, maybe not, because it's struggling to actually get there. There we go. Don't know if this thing might be accidentally left slightly all-wheel drive, you know. Hold on, let's go and have a test. Apparently it is. I tested... Why are you all-wheel drive now? Because I did test this mod when I first installed it, and it wasn't the... Well, okay, so it's a slightly cheaty all-wheel drive version of a V8 supercar. Either way, I can change that in the config files without all the handling files without too much trouble. Either way, still a very, very good fun car to drive. Easy change to make it rear-wheel drive, and an awesome mod. That'll be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.